Hi guys, it's me, Joy. I know, it's been a long time, my friends. Today, I wanted to just journal and talk story with you. Before I jump back into YouTube full force, I felt like I owed you a video to catch you up. A life update video of what has happened in the life of Joy since my last Hobonichi video in October 2018. And maybe my story will help you get through any hardships in your own lives and make you feel less alone. I'm going to be completely raw and honest and say that I fell into a very deep depression in 2018. Not sure what triggered it, but looking back at it now, I think it was because I felt like life was moving forward without me. It felt like everyone was moving forward and I was just standing still. At the time, my husband and I were trying for a baby. At that point, we had been trying for about a year. We started in early 2017. My goddaughter Mia was born earlier in 2018, and I loved imagining her and our future child growing up together just as I did with my own cousins. Well, 2018 came and gone and no baby. Instead, social media decided to show me everyone and their moms getting pregnant, including one of my best friends. So I just stopped scrolling on Instagram. I stopped watching from the sidelines. I stopped journaling. I stopped doing everything I loved. On top of everything else, I got a lot of pressure and unsolicited advice from family members. My favorite was, once you stop trying, it'll happen. Or, just relax. I hated that. Every single family party, I got, are you pregnant yet? Or hurry and give your parents grandkids already. But one of the worst ones I got was from my very own godfather, who told me that his son beat me and was expecting. His son got married earlier that year, but seriously, beat me? Beat me? Why was it a competition? Mother's Day and Father's Day were really hard. I felt like we would never be a part of that club. I started having social anxiety. Any kind of social event, whether it be my brother's graduation or even my own birthday, I felt like I had to brace myself for impact. I had to prep myself for more hurtful words, put on a brave face while I cried inside. I was even scared to spend time with my own parents in fear of disappointing them with no grandchild. After every heartbreaking comment, my husband was there to listen to me vent and held me whenever I cried. Through it all, he assured me each time that we would one day have a baby. And those words and his undying support helped me get up each time after I fell. I found ways to keep myself going. I played a lot of Sims and Stardew Valley to get me through it, and discovered the world of Twitch streamers, specifically Lil Simsy, who at the time was just starting Twitch, and now she's huge, but she really did help me get through a lot of hard days. Sorry, side note. I also started a part-time job in late 2018 to just get out of my head, to just keep as busy as I could, to have an excuse to be busy if someone wanted to make plans with me. I told my coworkers at the time that I took the job for extra money, but it was to help me get out of my depression. to take away as much free time as possible so I did not have to think. The extra money was nice though, and I did make a lot of friends. It was the best distraction I could ever hope for. I even got to practice my Japanese since I dealt with Japanese tourists on an almost daily basis. 2019 was a little better. I started journaling again. I started journaling in a Hobonichi A6 size. I needed something small to get my feet wet. I worked more. I drew more. Still no baby. And my niece was approaching her first birthday. Still no cousin for Mia, and even more people got pregnant. In the beginning of the year, I went in for my annual checkup, and my doctor found that my blood pressure was really high. Hypertension runs in my family. My stress level and lifestyle at the time was probably not helping. I started really watching my diet and started exercising regularly. I also started drawing and painting a lot for just myself. I drew so much that my boss at my part-time job started noticing and commissioned me to design t-shirt signs and to decorate the store windows and doors with my drawings. So I did. And it gave me such a sense of pride, and I loved doing it. I finally decided to reconnect with a few of my best friends and found that a lot of them were struggling with infertility. I cried as I heard them tell me about their miscarriages and their failed fertility treatments. Despite all the sadness we shared together, it made me feel less alone. By the summer of 2019, I felt much better. I had lost almost 30 pounds by my 37th birthday. I felt so much better both physically and mentally, and I thought for sure I was going to get pregnant any second. The morning of my 37th birthday, I went on a beautiful hike with my husband and had an amazing breakfast at a local cafe afterward. It was a perfect birthday morning. After breakfast, the birthday greeting calls started coming in, and I got a call from one of my aunts and got sideswiped by some news she told me. First thing she said, "Did you hear?" Did I hear what? She blurted out that my cousin, the one who had got married the year before, was pregnant. Don't get me wrong, I was very happy that we'd be getting another baby in the family, but I was also crying inside for my own baby. I called my cousin right away to congratulate her and got excited with her. She had a huge, elaborate surprise plan to tell us with cute, "You're going to be an auntie" swag. And she was upset that my aunt had spoiled her surprise. After the call, I cried myself into a depression sleep on my birthday. I fell into another depression. It wasn't as bad as the one in 2018, maybe because I kept myself busy. Maybe because I tried my hardest every day to find the good. Then in the fall of 2019, one of my favorite people in the world passed away, my Grandma Ritz, at the age of 93. She didn't suffer long, for which I am grateful. My cousin Jeff was hit the hardest with this one. He was the closest to her. He always watched over her, and they were like peas and carrots. It's funny looking back at it now. It was as if she knew 2020 was coming because we all surrounded her at the hospice as she died. She was a really good planner. We definitely would not be able to do that if she died today. We truly celebrated her life at her funeral. At the after party, you wouldn't even think our family just buried someone we loved. The end of 2019 was approaching quickly, and my husband and I had tried everything short of the most expensive fertility treatment of them all, IVF. We decided to hold off until the new year to decide if we wanted to put ourselves through that. A good friend of mine went through 2 cycles with no success. The thing about trying to make a baby is every month that you're not pregnant is a disappointment. You go into a nasty cycle of hope where you feel like this is a month. Peeing on sticks, taking your temperature daily, waiting for a certain shade of line and a spike. And you start calculating your future child's birthday and planning when you can tell your family. Symptom spotting every little twinge in your body, Googling to no end days past ovulation symptoms, even though you know it's just way too early to feel any kind of morning sickness. Convincing yourself that it's the month. Then you get your period and you're out. All your dreams squashed, and the disheartening thing is you have to go through it all over again and again and again. And then 2020 happens. Yup. So we gave up our dream of having a family earlier this year. And because, well, again, 2020, my once happy place, my part-time job, was shut down due to Hawaii's lockdown. But at least Animal Crossing saved me for those first couple months of COVID. I started coming to terms with my new life path of not having a family, of just being the cool favorite auntie to Mia, who had just turned 2, and my brand new baby nephew Micah. Trying to look on the bright side of not having a child, like being able to sleep in and travel a lot and saving a shit ton of money. All year I kept trying to convince myself that not having a baby wasn't so bad. I started thinking about all the people I knew that couldn't have children, and my heart started hurting for them. How sad they must have felt when they were where I am now. And then I started thinking of all the times I heard my mom or my aunt say things like, well, they don't have kids, so they don't know. Or they don't have to worry about that. They don't have kids. How hurtful it must have felt to hear words like that, knowing that they will never know or ever have to worry because they don't have kids. At the end of June this year, all our lives were changed forever. My husband and I were watching TV when my brother burst through our front door and said that we had to go to the hospital right away. At first I thought something had happened to my parents. But then he said, "It's Jeff. We have to go to the hospital now." Jeff was my cousin and one of my favorite humans of all time. We rushed off to the hospital, not knowing if we would be able to see him because of the COVID restrictions. We were updated in the car with very little info. All we knew was that he had an unnoticed brain aneurysm that ruptured. Later we found out he had a headache the night before, went to his night shift, came home, still had a headache, took a Tylenol, went to sleep, and woke up with the same headache. His mom suggested that he should eat something and take another Tylenol. As he took a bite out of his chicken sandwich, he clutched his head in pain and collapsed on the kitchen floor. My aunt reenacted this for us later. By the time we got to the hospital, they had already put him on life support. We were able to see him, and I pleaded with him to wake up and to stop joking around. He was so warm and he just looked like he was asleep. I cried and I prayed that he would be okay, but I knew he wasn't going to be. I watch way too much Grey's Anatomy, and I knew that once the blood gets into the brain, the outcome is rarely good. But even after hearing scientific facts, I still prayed for a miracle. The next day we went to the hospital, but we weren't allowed to see him this time. My aunt and uncle explored every choice they had, did all the tests they could, but in the end, they decided to end life support that night. His organs started failing by that point, and we knew he was really gone. Just 9 short months after Grandma Ritz passed away, Jeff was now gone too. Still feels like he's still with us, that he's just on vacation somewhere. Even during his funeral services, it just didn't seem real. A lot of my childhood memories are wrapped in him. In fact, whenever I'd see him, he'd say, "Hey Joy, remember when?" And we'd sit there and reminisce about the good old days. He was my little brother before I had a real little brother. I felt like I lost a giant piece of me. A giant piece of my childhood. I don't have anyone to share those memories with anymore. I honestly thought we would have more of those moments until we were old and gray. He had just turned 35 in April this year. 4/20/2020 was his birthday. After he died, I had a long talk with my husband and said maybe we should keep trying anyway. Why not? Life is short. Even though we knew we weren't going to go through with IVF, we decided to trust what we have in store for us and just keep going anyway. And if it happens, it happens. We have the gift of life and time, so why not keep going? So that's where we are right now. We're just going to keep going, be grateful for all our blessings, and utilize our talents as much as we can. That's the goal. And whatever happens, happens. We're trying to make peace that parenthood may not be in our future, but we're not giving up either. We're just going to take it as it comes. Weirdly enough, Jeff's death got me out of the COVID depression. Not because I was happy he died or anything like that. More so, I don't want to waste a minute because I could be gone tomorrow. I want to share as much as I can with the world, and I think I do it best right here on YouTube. It's my favorite place to share, and that's why I'm here today, telling you this story. Jeff was my biggest cheerleader. He was always the first to congratulate me on a job well done. And I'd like to think that he's still around cheering me on. Thank you for sticking with me through this, for coming back and watching my videos, for being patient and giving me feedback on Instagram, even though I have been in and out of social media for the last couple of years. I truly appreciate every comment, like, message, view, everything. I hope you are all healthy and safe. I hope that you can find something good that you can take away from 2020, because it was a tough one for us all, am I right? Thanks for watching. I'll be back, I promise. I have too many things I want to show you, but please bear with me, I'm a little rusty. Bye guys!